You're born into the lush, untamed jungles of Loompa Land, where survival is basically a reality TV show without the cameras. Your neighbours, hornswogglers, snozwanglers, and wangdoodles. Creatures so terrifying, they sound like Dr. Seuss villains on steroids. You spend your days dodging predators, scavenging for food, and wondering why evolution didn't bless you with a better survival strategy than hide and hope for the best. But despite the dangers, Loompa Land has its charms. You live among your tribe in tree houses, surrounded by nature's chaos. Sure, your diet consists of green caterpillars that taste like sadness, but at least you're free. That is, until Willy Wonka shows up with promises sweeter than his candy bars and just as full of empty calories. Wonka arrives like a chocolate-coated messiah, claiming he's here to save you from the horrors of Loompa Land. He offers you safety, shelter, and an unlimited supply of cocoa beans, the one food you actually enjoy. Cocoa beans are basically your version of boba tea, overpriced but irresistible. You take the deal faster than Augustus Gloop dives into a chocolate river. But here's the catch. Wonka isn't rescuing you out of kindness. He's recruiting you for unpaid labor. He smuggles your entire tribe into his factory and transforms you into his personal workforce. God knows how he got past the customs officers at the airport. Suddenly, your jungle life doesn't seem so bad. At least snozwangers didn't make you sing. In Loompa Land, you were wild and free. Well, as free as you can be whilst dodging wangdoodles. Your clothes were practical, deerskins for men, leaves for women, and your evenings were spent sharing stories under the stars. Sure, it was primitive, but it was yours. Now, you're stuck in a factory that looks like an oversized candy land, but feels like corporate hell. The chocolate rivers and candy forests might dazzle outsiders, but for you, they're just hazards waiting to happen. One slip on a gumdrop floor could send you straight to Wonka's HR department, if he had one. And let's talk about your new look. Orange skin, green hair, and identical uniforms that make you look like walking traffic cones. In Loompa Land, you blended into nature. Here, you stand out like someone who lost a bet at a Halloween party. One of the most baffling parts of factory life is singing. Every time one of Wonka's golden ticket winners screws up, whether it's gluttony or gum addiction, you're expected to drop everything and perform a perfectly choreographed song about their downfall. I mean, who writes these lyrics? How do you know all them by heart? Is there a secret Oompa Loompa songwriting committee? These are questions that keep you awake at night, whilst rhymes about moral lessons haunt your dreams. The worst part? The songs make you complicit in these kids' punishments. You're not just witnessing their demise, you're narrating it with catchy tunes that outsiders find adorable. Adorable? Try singing about someone turning into a blueberry while scrubbing melted chocolate out of your shoes. Let's talk about your boss, Willy Wonka. He is equal parts genius and lunatic. A man who built an empire on sugar but runs it like a dystopian fever dream. Wonka insists that he saved you from Loompa Land's dangers, but did he really? Or did he just swap one form of exploitation for another? In Loompa Land, danger came from external threats like predators. Here in the factory, danger comes from Wonka himself. His experiments range from mildly unsafe, edible wallpaper, to just outright insane. In other words, fizzy lifting drinks that could send someone floating into oblivion. You're not just workers, you're guinea pigs for his wild ideas. And if something goes wrong, well, let's just say no one knows what happens to disobedient Oompa Loompas. And no one wants to find out. Over time, factory life begins to wear on you. Not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. The constant surveillance ensures that every move is monitored. There's no room for error or rebellion. Even during breaks in the staff quarters, which are about as cozy as a broom closet, there's little respite from the monotony. You miss Loompa Land, not just its greenery, but its freedom and community spirit. Sure, hornswogglers were terrifying, but at least they didn't force you to rhyme about life lessons every 5 minutes. Even your diet has changed for the worse. In Loompa Land, green caterpillars were gross but natural. Here in the factory, meals are utilitarian slop designed to keep you functioning, not thriving. Despite everything, there are moments when hope flickers through the darkness. Perhaps it's a memory of Loompa Land, the sound of birdsong, or the taste of fresh fruit. Or perhaps it's seeing kindness in one of Wonka's visitors. One day, someone asks about your life before the factory, a rare moment when someone sees you as more than just another worker drone. It reminds you that there once was a world beyond these walls, a world where survival was tough but yours to navigate. However, this spark of hope is dangerous because it challenges Wonka's narrative that he saved you from misery. It makes you wonder wonder, what if freedom was worth fighting for? Ultimately, being born an Oompa Loompa means living under systems that exploit both your labor and identity. Sort of like a couple of real-life tycoons that might come to mind. Wonka may claim he gave you happiness and safety, but at what price? You traded one kind of danger for another. Predators for exploitation, starvation for servitude, freedom for confinement. Your orange skin and green hair may make outsiders smile, but behind that colourful exterior lies a story far darker than any chocolate river could hide. Whilst outsiders marvel at Wonka's whimsical factory filled with happy Oompa Loompas, they rarely see the truth behind those cheerful songs and colourful uniforms. For you and your tribe, life isn't sweet. It's bittersweet at best and soul-crushing at worst. Behind every chocolate bar lies hours of unpaid labour. Behind every song lies years of suppressed individuality. Behind every promise lies exploitation disguised as salvation.